I recently played through Ace Combat 4, 5, and 0, respectfully known as the Holy Trinity. Ever since I discovered Megalith, Agnus Dei, Unsung War, and Zero on the channel, I have been obsessed with the idea of finally trying the Holy Trinity for myself. The only problem was the hardware. How was I going to get a PlayStation 2 and play through these 3 games? Well, I bought one. I had to experience these games in their natural environment on the PlayStation 2 with the traditional and original hardware. And let me tell you, that was an experience and a half. The controls actually hold up incredibly well, even compared to modern times. They play as well as 7 does. This gaming experience was transcendent for me. The last time I got this emotional at a video game was Flow from Final Fantasy XIV and Undertale. I never expected to get so emotionally invested in 3 silly plain games. And I should have known better, frankly, because the minute you start Ace Combat 4, you're greeted with this. I have so far to go. Like, that's the main theme of the game. That's incredible. That instantly transports you into a new dimension. I have so far to go. And that doesn't include all the bangers that exist in Ace Combat 4, like Blockade. Blockade is amazing, and the upper strings there especially are so bright and so vibrant, and I had an epiphany while playing this particular mission. I had this realization, not only is the music of Ace Combat there to guide us along and to keep us in a meditative state so that when we're shooting and paying attention to our targets, we are not distracted by noise or too much movement musically, but what we get is this bright sound quality, and that bright sound quality actually allows us to be more invested in the majesty of flying through the air, the majesty of being in a plane, the majesty of being the hero of a conflict. And that experience lingers pretty much through every single game, and Blockade is a prime example of how bright and effervescent and focused this experience can be thanks to the music. I love those bright strings. And then of course we get Camona. Camona, easily the best mission in the game for me. There's just nothing like a pure air-to-air dogfight in a fighting game, in a fighter-playing game. And that kind of enthusiasm and hard rock, prog rock, whatever kind of rock quality that is, it just sets you off. That electric guitar especially is just something that pervades in this series, and it really just launches you into the thrill of battle. It is so exhilarating. Another track that was so amazing from my playthrough was Farbanti. Especially when we talk about melody, and especially right here. And that's the real thing about Ace Combat, is the use of melody. Melody is such an incredibly important experience to any game, to any experience where there's music involved. Melody is what drives us to understand it and to pay attention to it and to let it wash over us and to let us feel things. Melody is so profoundly important. You know, what's interesting about Ace Combat 4 is that while I enjoyed the game very much, it really wasn't until Rex Tremendae that I really understood that this game is beyond just a silly little playing game. Rex Tremendae into Megalith Agnus Dei is really the new frontier when it comes to using choir and a church sound aesthetic to deliver incredible emotional results. King of tremendous majesty, you save those who are saved for free. Save me, fountain of mercy. Lamb of God, who takes away the sins of the world, have mercy on us. Lamb of God, who takes away the sins of the world, grant us peace. We are the chosen lambs of God who will take away the sin from the world. Our job is to enter that tunnel, destroy that building, and protect and save the people of the planet. That is our purpose. That is our goal. We are angels flying through the air to deliver people from the sins of the world. That's the beautiful, powerful thing about Ace Combat, and especially with the Agnus Dei and Rex Tremendae right before, is that we are aligned with the idea that we can protect people everywhere by being angels of the sky, guiding our rockets to protect the world around us. It's incredibly exhilarating musically. The fact that this kind of thing, literally, you go through, 38 tracks, 37 tracks, all hard rock, maybe some jazz, some brightness, strings, and then all of a sudden you get to the end when you're facing the final moments of the game, that final battle, and you look out and see this thing throwing up nuclear bombs, and your job is to put it down. And that's when you get a chorus singing holy Latin text. There's nothing like it in any other game. And Ace Combat 4 was an incredible experience, but I have to say it was nothing compared to Ace Combat 5. What was incredible to me about Unsung War was how complex it was and how long it was compared to the other games 4 and 0. Ace Combat 5 was so personal, and while I loved the movie experience of the story of 4's story was incredibly touching and a really beautiful experience. 5, I felt like an active participant in the experience. I felt like it was my job to be reborn, to become a demon of Gras Gris. It's really hard to talk about this, honestly, because the experience was so incredibly moving. From start to finish, I felt like I was actively participating in this battle, in this experience. There were a couple of moments in this game that really stood out to me. One of the hard parts for me about this game and to talk about it is that the experience really washed over me in such an intense way. This game goes beyond what I perceived Ace Combat would be like. Obviously, it's a playing game, but it's the motifs musically that really launched this into the next stratosphere for me in terms of games that I love. Into the Dusk is a prime example of a song that I just let wash over me. There's almost no words to describe it. You don't expect a slow song to exist in a plane game, shooting down pilots and ground targets. And yet here you are flying above the sky, and you hear this. There is nothing like this. It is so unique and so special. And this game is so good at this. This game is so good at taking a piece of music and making you feel like it's your story, that you are a part of that experience. Leaving you speechless, leaving you empty, full of suffering and sadness and remorse. and using melody to do it as we start to tease out that Raz Grease melody in there. The Unsung War melody. It's something so profoundly beautiful. And I also really like that this is like a sad moment. You're flying through the air, you're shooting things, you're having to defend yourself, even though you've just seen tragedy, a personal tragedy. And yet there's nothing you can do about it except keep moving forward, because down below is the ground and above is the sky, and you'll stall out. And at the same time, you're getting shot and you still have a job to do. You still have to move forward. It's a sobering song, Into the Dusk. And I think that that's one of the things that I really love about Ace Combat, is that this gaming experience is not just about planes. It's serious. It's life and death. The minute you turn around, there's no safety net out there. You crash into the ground, you get shot up in the sky, and all you're left to do is move through pain, move through the fear of death. Very few games in my life have ever challenged me as much as the Unsung War, and especially the tunnel run. The tunnel run is terrifying. I've not experienced anything quite so difficult in any Dark Souls, any Bloodborne, any Sekiro, any hard game. There's nothing like it. You are here within an inch of your life, and you need to keep moving forward because the only way through is on the other side. I tell you, it felt like I was performing opera again, which is really strange to say. I felt like I was on stage. I had to go out and I had to face the audience, and the only way to do that was to get out on stage, sing my piece, and go home. My entire body, my hands were tingling, my stomach hurt, I was uncomfortable, I was panic failing because I was so stressed about what was going to happen if I couldn't make it. There are other pieces in this game that are absolutely beautiful. They're so unique. The journey home on radio as you're approaching the end of the game. We join forces as one. We protect. Listen to the way that we merge from radio to live orchestra. It becomes real, it becomes true, it becomes ours, it becomes pure and honest. It's all about hope. Beginning again, trusting to move forward into new beginnings. From above I can see from the heavens, down below I see the storm rages on. And somewhere in the answer, there is hope to carry on. This is the thing about Ace Combat, is that Ace Combat has heart. And it's something that people can overlook. If you just look at the packaging on the box, you say, oh, a playing game, how exciting. Okay, that's not really a genre I'm into. These games go beyond what you see on the box. These games are about what the spirit is. It's about getting up and choosing to face the day and acknowledging past mistakes and acknowledging pain and suffering and saying, you know what? No, I have to move forward because my life has value and I have to do this. That's what the journey home represents to me. And that's definitely what Ace Combat 5 represents to me. Ace Combat is, I am the lowest I've ever been, but I still need to get up and go for it. I still need to get up and I need to continue this fight. And after the terror that is this song, you are within an inch of your life here. You have nowhere to turn. You can only go forward. The steel, the clanging metal of the anvils in here. The lower brass pressing you forward. The horn comes in, letting you know you can do this. Keep pushing, baby. The tremolo in the strings, that low bass underneath, supporting you as you move through that tunnel. Keep going. You're almost out. You're almost out. And relief washes over your face. You've done it. That's the other thing about Ace Combat. Ace Combat is about inspiring you. Ace Combat is about motivation. It's about saying you can do difficult things. You are capable of so much. Just keep moving forward. And the sweet release of going from dead ahead, tunnel run, to this, there are no words. And the catharsis and the release of going from dead ahead, the tunnel run, winter storm, into the Unsung War will never be able to be matched by my experience. I was beside myself. I cried. I have just the most cathartic release. All that tension I built up for an hour and a half trying to get that tunnel run, knowing that one of my favorite video game songs of all time existed and was right in front of me. It was the sweet taste of potential that there it was waiting for me. What an incredible ride. Was so beautiful. And then moving into Zero, one of the most incredible dogfighting experiences I've ever had. I didn't love Zero's story as much as 5. 5 is still the peak story for me, but Zero just feels tighter in every single way in terms of its combat. I love the fact that I could have done more air-to-air if I wanted to. If I wanted to do air-to-ground, I could have. I wanted to do air-to-air. It's my favorite. And I have to say, I was just so happy with the dogfights in this game. There were so many pieces that really blew me away, but just a couple that really stood out to me were like Contact. Avalon. Honestly, this is my favorite song ever, so like, even if I did this 30 times, ask me if I care. Oh, fuck yeah, bitch. What an incredible feeling. Holy fuck, dude. And of course, Near the Border. And the thing is, Near the Border was a culmination of my entire experience with this series. I spent 2 weeks back to back playing through the Holy Trinity, and I left with a sense of complete and utter satisfaction for myself and for what I was able to achieve in these games. These games challenged me, they tested me, they made me fall in love with Ace Combat, and they made me fall in love with what I could do. That feeling of being completely helpless, but having to move forward to pave my own path. That's what I was left with. These tracks, these games, this experience is incredible. And anybody who's even remotely curious about what these games are like should play Ace Combat 7 at the very least. This series deserves love, it deserves attention, it deserves to be paid attention to, and it deserves to be appreciated. It is incredible from start to finish. Now, not every track, not every game experience, not every part of it is amazing. I hate ground missions. But we can glean so much about ourselves and about our experience with games if we play these in particular. Ace Combat has changed the way I play games. It's made me approach hard games in a totally different light. And I'm just so grateful for the experience from start to finish. There's so much good music to listen to still from Ace Combat 5, 4, and 0, and I look forward to doing it with you sometime soon. Feel free to check out the links in the About section, and as always, thanks a ton, and I'll see you later.